And now for part 2 with Gayle Rogers.
I think what do we do? 1 long form video, 5 short forms, that's 6, say 2 blog posts, that's 8, 2 carousel posts, that's 10, 3 to 5 quotes, let's say that's 13. Taking 10 minutes of your time to record a video, you can pull 13 assets out of that. So it's almost like it's just based on what your creativity or imagination will keep you from doing. There's no other way to get from 0, they don't know who you are and they don't care, to I know this person, which makes me even maybe like them a little bit and potentially trust them. There's no way to get there any faster than using video and AI together to create attention and frequency. If you're also trying to think of some ideas of what to do for content, I think a couple of really good things are look up some statistics in your industry. And I think that would be the one thing I tell people, to walk away from this is like, be thinking about your marketing is not talking at a standing army. I suggest that everyone just go post on everything and see what works and doesn't work. I think you'll be surprised at how well, to your point, Facebook still gets a lot of activity.
That post, and it didn't start until like yesterday. Yesterday was like around 20,000 views. I'm at 59,000 views. Well, it's only been about 2 minutes for me and Gayle, but it's been a whole week for you. But we're now going to get you off the edge of your seat on all of the things that we talked about last week, and let you know the how you can implement these things and start making yourself more relevant. Use video and AI to your advantage. So I can't wait to jump into this. This is something that absolutely got me fired up and going last week when we were talking, Gayle.
Yeah, no, this is the fun part. And what's really cool about it is that it doesn't require an engineering degree or 20 years, 25 years of experience in marketing to do this now. Like, it's accessible to everyone, and it's just a matter of like taking the time to do it and trying to put something into action and testing it out. So that's probably the most exciting thing now, is that it's not nothing's really holding you back. So,
yeah. And there's so many, what's nuts is how many free tools are out there that can help you in this process. Like, you don't even have to pay a crazy amount of money for the tools to be able to do something like this. Like, it's maybe a small subscription. Like, I pay $20 a month for my ChatGPT, and I'm almost at the point where I couldn't live without it. But then you've got video editing services like CapCut, which is really all encompassing for all platforms, but directly linked to TikTok. TikTok itself has a phenomenal video editing feature inside of it for free. So all of these different things that we're going to kind of help you guys out with a little bit. And Gayle's going to go very, very in depth here in either some specific tools or some specific methods and what you can do with just one singular video and how far you can make one video stretch.
All right.
Over to you.
You ready? Okay. So I will, as I go through this, I'll kind of try to like stack it up, and then we can break it down in a summary at the end.
Okay.
But the first thing that is important is that you're going to need some type of video software, in my opinion. And the reason why is, and you can take an extra step to do this, but we use Riverside. We use Riverside because it's very similar to StreamYard, but it's giving you a transcription and a video independently of each other. And it does it as soon as you end up, finishing your recording your session, whatever it is, then you have that transcript to work with right away, which is really, really cool. And I'll touch on this real quickly because I'm excited about it. We're currently working with an automation team to get the transcript out of Riverside immediately and start putting it through a custom AI process, which is super cool. But if we're just talking about like anybody, anywhere, you can do it on your phone. You can do it using a camera. There's a lot of cameras now that you can get. Like we're recording right now on a Sony ZV-E10. It's a $500 camera, $600 camera. So it's not super expensive to have. I'm actually even using the kit lens for this and a light. Like it's pretty easy to set up your own studio, to have like mood lighting and, put all this stuff back here. Like that's pretty easy to do, but you don't even need that. You can do all of it with your phone. But the really important piece is because AI cannot read a video, you have to have the transcript. Mm-hmm. And the transcript's vitally important. So that's the first piece. And the way we start off with clients is we start off with what we call a foundational interview. And I think this is oftentimes probably skipped over, but I'll explain why it's so important. So the foundational interview really is just like, tell me about yourself. Tell me about why you started your business. Tell me about the customers that you hope to serve. Talk to me about what the problems that they face are, and a lot of that's going to be specific to where you are locally, right? So the people that are there have different, if you're living in Colorado versus living in Florida, you have different types of problems that you're dealing with. Yeah. Some the same, but different in a lot of ways. And so that's what's unique to each location. And so that interview typically, for us takes half an hour to 45 minutes, half an hour to an hour, depending on who it is. But all that is just to it captures voice. It captures, some of the unique things that you would say that someone else maybe wouldn't say, or how you describe things, tone, a lot of that. And we take that whole transcript and then we put it into a ChatGPT, $20 a month ChatGPT deal that we've gone on and customized our own GPT. You don't have to do that, but it makes the process for what we need it to do much smoother.
Right.
And so what you would do is you take the transcript and you put it into ChatGPT and you start talking to it about like, well, tell me, what the key messaging pillars are, or tell me what this brand stands for, or let's talk about core values. You can get all of that out of there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you can even dig into like, well, who's the key persona that this, so it's like, business owners that have these specific problems. And one of the things we lean on a lot, and I think it's really important for any business, is story brand.
Yes.
And really the reason why I like it, I don't go too deep into it, but what I really like about it is you just have to remember that you are not the hero in your customer's story. You are the guide. You are Yoda. You will die in the story. You're there to help Luke Skywalker achieve his goals.
Yep.
And every website you go to is written like, I'm the hero.
That's true.
Versus, how can I be your guide? And so we use that to put the messaging together. So that's the first big piece is this, and it ends up being a 10-page, foundational messaging piece that talks about all of these elements. And you can ask it, you can sit there and have a conversation with ChatGPT about it. And by the way, I fully recommend that if you do it, don't worry about typing it in. Use the dictate part of it where you can just talk to it. You can talk to it for 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yep. Then you'll summarize it for you, and then you can put all that in there. So that's the first piece. So you gotta sit there and record. I think it really helps to talk to people rather than to try to talk to a camera. And then you got to take that transcript. Now, once you have this foundational messaging strategy, this is your knowledge document. This is your single source of truth for any other content that you put into the AI.
This episode is brought to you by Epic BDC, your #1 outsourced BDC solution. Learn more about Epic BDC by checking out the link in the bio.
You'll put it in with this foundational document because then it knows everything about you and doesn't have to re-guess every time. So one of the things about this is, where we're training in AI is that depending on what model you're using between like 4.0 and 5 thinking or 5 instant or whatever else, like they all act differently.
Right.
And so you really have to make sure that you're sort of watching it. And we talked about this in the first part, which was like how you have to layer human intervention in with AI itself because it'll do things that you don't necessarily want it to do. One of my favorite things that makes me laugh is that in every instruction, I put no emojis. I'm like, don't put emojis in it. And what it'll like almost always do is put an emoji check mark next to no emojis. Which I'm like, what do we do? Are you like trying to push? I'm getting rage baited by my own AI. So now that once you have the foundation, now the really cool thing is that you can say, all right, here are my 3 key personas. So let's say those 3 key personas are like a C-suite person, a soccer mom, and on-site worker. Whatever. I'm like totally making these up. It could be 100. Yeah. Now what you can do is take that persona, put it back into AI and say, help me to create a content strategy of topics that I should be talking to this particular persona about as it relates to my services and products that I sell.
Right.
So then it'll give you this huge list of ideas. So there's no shortage of like, this is your accountability partner for ideas now. And you can do that for each individual persona.
Right.
Now's the tough part. You actually have to go in and say, all right, I'm going to talk about, why leasing is good for people that own their own businesses. Right. And you got to just go in and have the conversation. Now, there's 2 ways you can go about this. One is that you can write yourself a script and you can have a teleprompter and you can go through all that whole thing. I don't recommend that. I've done that version of it too, and I just don't like the way it feels. It takes too long. You're doing all these re-steps. Yeah. You're trying to say something the exact way. If you need it, that's fine. For me, I just like having the notes and then just being able to like go through, it's sort of like a presentation almost.
Yeah.
Like a PowerPoint. You're the expert in the space. Or you know what? You could even just say, I'm not an expert in this, but I did some research on it and I want to share with you what I learned.
Right.
Like that's the part of that human vulnerability too, of like, I don't know everything there is to know about leasing per se, but I went to a few sources and I learned some things, and let me tell you what I learned. I think it's really cool. I want to share it with you.
Yeah.
Like
it's so easy to just be anything and everything.
That's right. Okay. So once you have that piece of content now, right? So we've gone from the foundational to the persona content strategies and now to like actually recording content. So when you're recording this content, now you're going to take that transcript and you're going to go put that back in AI. And you're going to say, tell me what summarize this for me and tell me what we talked about in here. And it'll give you an overview and go, great. What I need you to do is give me a long form video with timestamps. And I don't want the video to be any longer than 4 minutes, whatever it is that hits the main theme of this, and build that up for me. And it'll tell you what you need to edit.
That's wild.
It won't necessarily tell you, it won't do the editing for you, which is, I know what everybody wants, and you want it to do all the videos. And I've done those. I don't love them.
Right.
And so we use editors at that point. Like I'll take that and go, here, I need you to build this video based on these timestamps. All right. Then you can say, all right, I need 5 shorts or something that's 90 seconds or less. For most people, I think 45 seconds is plenty. Mm-hmm. And just say, give me some shorts out of that. And so it'll timestamp those and it'll give those to you. And you can ask it for captions. You can ask it for descriptions. You can ask it for all these pieces. Then you could say, I want you to give me 4 quotes that are 15 words or less. Now you got to give it guardrails. If you don't, it'll do whatever it wants.
Yeah.
I need you to help me turn this into a structured blog post. I need you to help me to turn this into a FAQ post about leasing. I need you to outline a carousel post for social to promote each one of those blogs. Mm-hmm. If you want to get even deeper into it, you can then go take local market research, and you can layer that in there too. Or you can say, hey, give me 10 statistics about leasing cars and why it's good. And you can.
And you're still doing all of this in ChatGPT. Like you've given it a transcript, and from this transcript, you're developing all of this.
That's right.
That's nuts.
That's right. And so, I mean, we've taken it to a level to where we know, like, I'm like, I want this blog post in exactly this structure. I want you to tell me what the H1 is. I want you to tell me what the meta description is, what keywords we're targeting. Like, we're feeding it a lot more data so that we can use it as, optimized content.
Right.
But I mean, we just went through a handful of things that you could pull out of there that are like, I think what do we do? 1 long form video, 5 short forms, that's 6, say 2 blog posts, that's 8, 2 carousel posts, that's 10, 3 to 5 quotes, let's say that's 13. So taking 10 minutes of your time to record a video, you can pull 13 assets out of that.
That's wild. That's half a month of content if you did nothing but that.
That's right. That's exactly right. And it's the hardest part is starting. That's the hardest part. And that's my experience of it, is like turning on the camera and the light and sitting down and doing whatever. The rest of it becomes really, really easy. Now, like I said, our process is, we do the interview. AI helps us to write the topics. Then we record those topics. Then we run that through a sort of manually run AI, meaning like we'll run it, look at it and go, yeah, I'll take that and I won't take that. And then we take those and schedule those out for editors to build. Then it's QA'd again to make sure everything's okay. And then it's scheduled from there. And basically what we're working on right now is the parts that are the monotonous pieces, like moving it from Riverside to getting it processed in a consistent AI. We're automating that. Then we have a QA point, and then scheduling is automated. And then there's a QA point, and then, setting it up in social and scheduling all that out with captions and all that. That's all automated. So it's like, it's getting the parts that are sort of the manual labor out of it and trying to just keep creative labor on top of it.
Yeah. So when you're doing it with that much AI, how do you ensure that there's still enough human element to it?
I mean, you got to check it. You just have to look and read it and look at it. And then if you start to see consistent breakpoints, then you have to go back and adjust the AI. And that happens a lot. Like I've had to, if you haven't, and we could have a whole nother conversation on creating a custom GPT. Mm-hmm. It can be fun and like maddening because it ignores instructions. And sometimes like my family or people here will hear me yelling at it. Like, why are you just doing whatever the hell you want to do? Right? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Oh, yeah. My husband, I will see him sitting next to me and just like so angry on his phone. And I'm thinking he's like in a fight with someone on Facebook or something. I'm like, who are you fighting with? And he's like, fighting with chat. It's not understanding what I'm trying to tell it. And I'm like,
did you know that there's a monthly newsletter where you can keep in touch with everything the I'm a Car Chick podcast is up to? There is. Check out the show notes below. And you can also follow us on all social media and stay in tune with whatever we're up to.
And he's like aggressively just over there, just like thumb mashing on this thing. I'm like, it's AI. Calm down.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot of cool things it can do. And so what we're doing too now is that we're learning from AI and go, okay, how do we structure our interviews to say, like, here's a really good thing that we're going to do is go to a dealership and do a walk around video using the transcript, like recording it with a transcript to go, okay, this is I'm just making 2025 Chevy Silverado LT and this color. And here's the front view and here's the quarter panel view. And here's this, and this. Once you put that into AI now you have a video library of every image and video of that vehicle. And the reason why that's important is because we live in a fragmented production world, meaning like I can work, and I do work with people from Sri Lanka to help me create videos.
Mhm.
They don't know what a Duramax 3.0 looks like,
Right.
right? But if you've got a library and you don't have to go hand code all that in, you can do it with your voice. So you can walk around and say, this is what this is. And now you have this searchable library of video and image assets. You can do the same thing for people. You can do a lot more now when you think about like, how do we quickly move something from, if I just need thumbnail images, I can use my camera, right? And record it and say, this is Shasta. And she's crossing her arms and she's putting her hands on her hips and she's pointing off to the sky. And now these are your thumbnails.
That's wild.
It's pretty cool. So it's almost like it's just based on what your creativity or imagination will keep you from doing. But there's almost no limit to the amount of custom content that's authentic to your location, to your personas, to your business, to your expertise that you can't create now. So like to say like, oh, I need a custom avatar to write for, to do a video for me. I mean, if you hate being on camera, I get it, for that one reason, but this is where this is the big piece of it, right? It's like people, we gravitate to what we're familiar with.
Right.
We are evolutionarily programmed into that. Like it's a survival instinct. And so if someone sees you over and over again and they see you talking about the same thing over and over again, like that's huge in terms of conveying authority and creating trust, which is really where purchases come from. And this is the easiest, fastest way to do it. There's, as far as I'm aware of, and I'm not saying I know everything, but there's no other way to get from zero, like ignorance and apathy. They don't know who you are and they don't care, to I know this person, which makes me even maybe like them a little bit and potentially trust them. There's no way to get there any faster than using video and AI together to create attention and frequency, right? Yeah. And convey all that authority. So that's, for anyone, there's no cost that's holding you back. Like everything I just told you, your phone, a tripod, say costs you $50.
Yeah.
Riverside costs you $40 and ChatGPT costs you $20 a month. And then, like you said, there's CapCut, there's Descript, there's a lot of things out there. And even Riverside, you can do editing straight out of there and just pull videos out of that. So you wouldn't even need an additional editor if you don't want to do it. Now, can you do all the magic movement and all that other stuff? Not really. But if that's the one thing that's holding you back, I would disagree with you. I would tell you that you just need to go ahead and we call it shipping, right? Just ship it, put it out there.
Well, and there's so much learning available online, and think of how YouTube has transformed over the years. It started off with mostly music videos and maybe some small how-tos, and now it's almost our search engine for how to do everything or how to learn everything. And just sitting here, just the things that I've thought of, like that I need to do for my own business, like all of the different, custom GPTs that I should have and all of that stuff. So I know that everybody listening has got to be in the same boat. I know that there's going to be some businesses that don't have either the staff or the capability to do this themselves, which would be a great opportunity for them to reach out to you and see how you can help them. What's the best way for everybody to get in contact with you?
You can email me at Gayle at theatomicagency.com. That's pretty easy. My phone number and all my contact information is pretty public. I don't hide it anywhere. What's great. And by the way, the quick origin story, when I started the business, I didn't know what I was going to call it. And I was going through all these names, and then I read Atomic Habits, which is right.
I see behind you, yeah.
And the thing that struck me with it was like, it's about doing the small things that make a big impact. And I'm like, I think that's what I want my company to do, is like, how do we help people do the little things that make the biggest impact instead of just spending money to spend money? Mm-hmm. We've seen that. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to go buy the domain. I'm going to go get all that stuff. Well, I bought the Atomic Agency because there's a lot of like atomic marketing and there's atomic skis and all this other stuff. So theatomicagency.com was what's available. And the company's name is really just Atomic, but that's the domain. But anyways, I didn't really, and everyone should do this, I didn't look to see who I'd be competing with. And I was competing literally with the International Atomic Agency, like the nuclear atomic agency, was like who I was trying to outrank, which,
oh no,
I've won this battle at this point. Like if you go search for it, I'm typically at the top of that search.
I'm right now.
Yeah, so now I can say you can go look up the Atomic Agency and I'll be there. Maybe above them? I don't know, because I search it all the time and it's based on my search history.
It's right there. It's one and the other.
Are they above me or below me?
They're above, but let me try the. Okay, so if I type the Atomic Agency, you're first.
There you go.
If I do Atomic Agency, they pop up above you. But
yep.
I mean, it even pulls up like your Google business and your reviews and all of that stuff. So
there you go. Yeah. But yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on every social channel. So, but yeah, and I like to talk about it, and I like to help people. And I know we talked about my company and what we do and all that, but I'm happy to like tell you how to go do this, because if you can actively go and execute on that, go do it. Like, go do it. There's no reason to hire an agency if you can do that for yourself.
Yeah, but honestly, if you're busy selling cars and running a dealership and all of that stuff, unless you're going to really, really dedicate time and staff power to it and not get mad in a month and be like, what are we paying for this work? Outsource it.
Yeah, and I would say that's the other piece of this too, is that you got to think about like, what's the goal of this? In dealerships, like we're playing 12 seasons a year. It's got to drive leads and all that stuff. And I will tell you that you will be amazed by when you can scale content this quickly, how fast that you'll start to see yourself show up in AI citations, how fast you'll start to see your organic traffic increase, and how fast you'll start to see like key engagement metrics like shares and comments and watch times start to go up.
Yeah.
And that's like...
This episode is brought to you by SCP Agency, your one-stop shop for organic social media. Check them out by clicking the link in the show notes or visit scpagency.com.
There's what we really need, so that once we have people's attention, we can start driving them to the next step in the transaction.
It's actually really funny. Like I do at social media, like, you know what they say, the mechanic's car is always the one that's in the worst shape. Like, we're always so bad at because we're so busy focusing on our customers or our clients that we forget to pay attention to ourselves. And so like, I don't even get to implement all of the things that I want to do on social media or all of that stuff, because I stay busy and I implement it with the clients first. Someone, I guess, looked me up one day and they were like, you need to go Google yourself. Like, you own your name on Google by far. And like, if you Google my name, which I mean, I have a little bit more of a rare name, but I own like the first 4 pages of Google with no attempt. Like, that's just whatever. And it just goes to show you the power of even doing at it and not having someone manage my own social media. Like, doing at it will get you there and keep you relevant. So
yeah, and you touched on personal branding. Like, that is so important for everyone. And yeah, if you Google me and a professor in Pittsburgh comes up, like for Gayle Rogers, and which, by the way, anytime I come across another Gayle Rogers, I'll reach out to him and make friends with him. Because especially if it's a guy. There's not a lot of us. There's like some female authors, and then there's a professor at I think Pittsburgh University.
Is that the woman?
No, there's a man that.
See, I typed it in and I got the author that's a woman.
Yeah, that happens a lot too.
I see,
which is funny. Like, when I reached out to you, I was like, I want to be on I'm a Car Chick podcast, even though I have a girl's name. I'm a dude. And
it's funny, like, and I feel like my listeners should know this by now, but again, if you're new here, I don't like in the early days of the podcast, we did a lot of like highlighting businesses and stuff like that, and I've really moved away from that. I didn't want the podcast to become a place where people just come on and use it as a commercial for their business. So when Gayle reached out and I hadn't known anything about him, or, we weren't personally connected already, I was already hesitant. I put up a wall immediately, and I'm like, listen, if you're just going to try to use my podcast to advertise your shit, like I'm not about it. But like, I did it gracefully, I would say. And then you and I even had a conversation, and you're like, listen, I don't want to use the podcast. And I didn't even tell you that specifically. You're like, I don't want to use the podcast to advertise. Like, I just think this is really good information that people need to know. And it was like, as soon as you said that, I was like, all right, I'm in. Like, this is, other than the fact that I can tell you obviously know what you're talking about, and it aligns very much with what I do on a daily basis and what I'm passionate about. Like, yeah, we're going to hit the ground running with this because this is obvious. So just know, guys, like that I've got that in the back of my mind, and I'm working on that on my side of, not letting this be just an hold on.
Like editorial and advertorial?
Something. I was like, hold on, I think I just tried to mix 3 words together.
Oh, you know what? I'll throw in, this made me think about something else too that we started working on recently. I'll throw this extra bonus in at the end. If you're also trying to think of some ideas of what to do for content, I think a couple of really good things are look up some statistics in your industry and record yourself talking about what it means and what your insight is on that statistic. Or look up local news about what's going on in your industry and talk about what that actually means. And kind of break it down, like you said, like 6th grade language. Here's what, if you're explaining it to a, 10 to 13-year-old, what does this mean? And again, that you could just go for hours about that kind of stuff. And it's all this whole short form thing, but it shows that you know what you're talking about. And so, there are thousands of ways for you to be able to continue a conversation. And I think that would be the one thing I'd tell people, to walk away from this is like, be thinking about your marketing is not talking at a standing army. Be thinking of like how you can have conversations with a moving crowd, because that's what it is. And how do you engage with people in a way that feels like we're sitting down and talking to each other.
Right. Well, and it's important to remember too that, so a lot of us get discouraged when we don't see, 1,000+ views on a video. Like, we put all this work into it. We go through all the editing, like 200 views, and you're like, my God, why can't I get more than that? But think of how insanely wild it would be to be in a room of 200 people giving your message. And when we relate it to that, and those are 200 individual human beings that saw your content, your job's done. Like,
well, I think here's the other thing. I was listening to somebody talk about this morning. So this is, if an automotive is an easy way to do this. If I live in a town with 100,000 people, and I can't do math this well in my head, but I'll try to. And at any given time, there's 10% of the population is in the market to buy a car. So now we're down to 10,000. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Then of that, half of it, 5,000, is in the market to buy a new car. And of that, your brand's, market share is 10% of that. So now we're down to 500.
Mm-hmm.
And of that, only 10% are buying the truck. Now we're down to 50. So really, your audience isn't as big as you think it is.
Yeah.
Right? So if 10 people out of potentially 50 have somehow engaged with you, that ain't that bad. And so it's really about the quality of the engagement versus the numbers. It was like the guy I was listening to, he's like, if I got an old lady to like slap me in the face, I'd get a ton of views. It would be funny, but it's not connecting with my market, and stop thinking about it like social media and think about it like intent media, right? Like the intent of the people that we hope to connect with. Right. And views are not an indication of success.
No, I do think that there is some algorithm tricking that has to go on though to sometimes push you out a little bit further, or sometimes we just gotta, get that kick started a little bit, just for growth reasons. But at the end of the day, I have perfect example. I posted something on, I want to say it was Saturday, and it was just a stupid screenshot of my fantasy football league. And my husband and I were neck and neck, and he had Jonathan Taylor, who played Thursday, I think, and got 49.6 points. And I was like, I literally told him, you should handwrite a thank you letter to Jonathan Taylor for his performance on your fantasy team and his service to you. And then I took that and I posted on Facebook, where I posted the screenshot of the scores. It was like, told my husband he needs to write a handwritten note to Jonathan Taylor. As of this morning, that post had over 50,000 views. Like, has nothing to do with what I do for a living or anything like that. But why 50,000 views? Like, and that was the last time I checked it. And that was like first thing this morning. Let's just for shits and gigs. And the algorithm makes no sense sometimes. Like, why did it push that out versus, something I worked really hard on and not just some stupid screenshot?
And actually, while you're looking that up, I'll throw this out there too. Because of posting aggregators, right? Like where you can go and schedule something to all your different channels, there's no reason not to have everything.
Yeah.
You've made it this far, and I have to say thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to rate the show, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and of course on all social media channels. Light it up.
And just go ahead and post it. And I know there's people who are like, just dominate Facebook or just dominate YouTube and, that be your thing. Because it's true, like the audience on Facebook versus the audience on Instagram versus the audience and like how you want to connect, they're different. But for getting started right now, I suggest that everyone just go post on everything and see what happens and see what works and doesn't work. I think you'll be surprised at how well, to your point, Facebook still gets a lot of activity.
Yeah. It's true. That post, and it didn't start until like yesterday. Yesterday it was like around 20,000 views. I'm at 59,000 views on literally a screenshot. Oh, my screen's blurring. It's literally a screenshot of my fantasy team. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy. I didn't edit it. Nothing. 59,000 views. So again, if that gets me in front of one more potential dealer or something like that, I could market to in the future, I'm all in.
Yeah, well, and to your point, the algorithm wants you to spend money on ads. I know people will say that they don't, and you can get away, but it's smart every once in a while to boost something, to test it out, see what happens. But you do need to mix in some of that, like I'm in a fantasy football league with I sell this.
Yeah.
There's the personality part is good. Those are the things that people connect with more so than just the one thing that we sell.
Yeah.
So, talk about those pieces in your life and talk about those experiences and the whys behind all those, because that's the connective tissue.
Well, and it applies to those of us who aren't just selling cars or working in a dealership, but those of us who work with dealerships. We had our BDC had a B2B team for a long time, and it got to the point where we could not, no matter how hard we tried, we could not get through the gatekeepers at the dealerships anymore. They were just gatekeeping so hard, whether it was reception or a voicemail box or something like that. Like, it was just getting to that point where we could never actually make it to a decision maker. And yet here we have social media where decision makers will connect with us all day long. And not to say that, we need to be advertising, but the thing that we're teaching the dealerships is to be human, find that human connection, give them a reason to want to do business with you. Like, on the vendor side, give them a reason. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I had, if anybody knows me, which if you listen to the podcast this long, you should know. I hate doing my hair. I hate doing my makeup. I only do it for podcast recording days. I discovered on TikTok heatless curls. And it's just this little foam thing you put in your hair and you wrap your hair around it and you get heatless curls, whatever. Game changer for me. I hate curling my hair so much. And I had been posting about it on Facebook, like, holy crap, I got this thing. If anybody can use it, like, if I can use it, anybody can do it, because like I'm a hair idiot. And I literally had a dealer message me and said, I loved watching your hair content lately. It was a guy with no hair. He's like, I've loved watching your hair content lately. We need to talk BDC. And I'm like,
one of the most successful videos, I got 3 leads out of one where I was complaining about people that will send you a LinkedIn request, that was like, hey, I saw that you went to Alabama. we want to sell you, 20 qualified leads. And I'm like, that's not connecting with someone. And I just bitched about it. And I had people do the same thing. Like, oh, I saw you did this. I had the same problem too. Let's talk about business. Like, those things are really good. And it's something else I was thinking about. What is an opportunity for dealerships? Explain your incentives for the month. Talk about why November is an awesome month to buy a car, like with real reasons in that particular month.
Yeah,
and be really transparent about it. Like, that's an opportunity every month to just say, we always love to talk about why this month's the best month. I'm going to tell you why I like December or whatever. November is the best month to buy a car. Or to explain like whatever your offer is and be transparent about it. Like, can you imagine if you saw that content and you'd be like, I trust that person.
Right. And then you're looking for them. Like, you go in the dealership and like, where's that guy?
And it's like, we should be striving to be the guy, like when someone says like, man, I got to buy a car, and you go, I know a guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to try to be.
Exactly.
And we can do that with video and with fun, with having conversations. So
we haven't convinced you at this point. There is no convincing you. And I'm just
it's not going to be your thing. And that's fine. And just let me know what it's like living in 1986.
It's funny. There's very much still some dealers living out there. And, it's just going to progress the ones forward who need to be progressed forward. I saw a stat the other day. Feeding off what you just said, I saw a stat the other day that was about, because money's getting tighter, people are, number one, not trading in their vehicles as fast as they were, and they're not getting big service as much as they used to. So using this time of year to teach them about, how important winter maintenance on your vehicle is, and, making sure you've got the right tires, making sure that you're maintaining your tire pressure, all of those things that will lead into the life of the vehicle, stop them from getting in wrecks on ice, maintaining your headlights so that you can see when those deer jump out in front of you. All of the things, like, teach people these things.
Yeah. Get new windshield wipers before all the ice and stuff.
Wiper fluid. Make sure your fluids are topped off. Make sure that your gas tank is never less than half full when temperatures drop below freezing. Like, all of these things are really important things, again, that we, it's in the back of our head. We've known it for so long. Other people don't.
Well, you even saying that out loud, I was like, that's such an easy one that you don't think about.
Mm-mm.
And sometimes it's just reminding people of something. You're like, oh, that's so smart. Like, it's so simple, it's smart.
And it's honestly, it's such an opportunity for the parts department. I'm thinking about my own situation right now. I told you we bought the Jetta. I need to replace a bulb on it. I don't know which bulb. My little thing's on that I need to replace a bulb. I'm pretty sure it's one of my headlights that's dimmer than the other. And I'm like, man, I don't even have a Volkswagen dealership near me. Where would I even go to get this bulb? It's Volkswagen. Does it need to be a specific bulb? Parts departments need to be educating people on, hey, we have parts for all vehicles, not just Kia, not just Nissan, not just Chevy. We have your parts. You don't have to go to AutoZone, all those things. And also, when you buy it here, maybe you get a warranty on it, or you get some sort of protection that will cover it for 24 months, whatever it is. All of these things that your public has no idea about. And it's not just a one and done. You're going to have to tell them multiple times. Incorporate it into all of your marketing.
Well, and that goes back to, we think we're talking to a standing army, right? And we're really talking to a moving crowd. Mm-hmm. That they have 1,000 other things going on, and it's about timing. Yeah. And so you have to be consistent and frequent in order to get the right timing for them.
Mm-hmm. I know you've got to go. I keep watching the clock, so I'm like, man, I know he's got to go soon. What's one last piece of advice you want to leave for the audience?
Start. Just get started. Go. And by the way, when you start, you are going to suck. You're going to be bad at it. And you'll look, and if you're consistent with it, you'll look back at the stuff you did in the beginning and you'll be embarrassed by it. Yeah. But wear it like a badge of honor. Just do it. Mm-hmm. And it gets better with repetition. So just don't, get out of your own way. And by the way, I'm like, I wonder if somebody's looking at this thing on my face over here because I see it. Nobody sees that. Nobody sees it. Don't worry about it. Just go record, promote it. And honestly, if you don't like it, just post more and more often. And that stuff will get pushed down anyways.
Yeah.
And you never know. Like, I mean, I think I just reached out to somebody about something they posted 3 weeks ago. Actually, I did. He posted something 3 weeks ago. Oh, I saw this. And it was just fresh for me. So even old content works too, but you got to just start.
Yep, exactly. My favorite quote, and it's written in my office. It's the mantra of everything I do. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
It's literally written on my board like that. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. It takes an Office fan to know the reference.
That's right.
I love this. Well, there's no better note to end the show on. I thank you again for this, being able to get 2 parts out of this and being educational, informational for the audience. That's always my goal in life. So thank you for coming on and giving us so much knowledge and practically breaking down your entire business for us. But, I hope that it becomes fruitful for you.
If it helps somebody, then it's great. If it turns into business, great. But I like having the conversation. I'm happy to do it. And I really enjoyed being here.
Thank you. Audience, be sure to connect with Gayle on socials, learn everything you can from him. He's been on several other podcasts. Go check him out, listen to him. But first and foremost, just definitely connect with him. Let him know you heard the show and see what else he can help you with or how you guys can work together. But until next time, this has been the I'm a Car Chick podcast. Thank you.